Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Josh. I'm going to be your presenter today. All right, let's dive into our topic here. So let's go into accounting. And essentially what we're looking at here today is under special functions at the top and this manage years list right up here. All right, we're going to go through and spend a little time on each one of these pages, some more than others, but there's a lot that goes on here involving managing of your accounting years, and it's important to know as much as you can about them because it does make your using of accounting and managing the chart of accounts and your books and all that and everything much better. So we're going to go through a little bit of all of this here for you, okay, with you today. First and foremost in our list here, change to another existing accounting year. So if say, as we say to all of our customers and users, open up 2025 or the next accounting year when you're ready. You don't have to be finished with the old year in order to begin working with the new, and that's true now. But when you're wanting to work between or toggle back and forth between accounting years, I want to go, I've got my accounting year of 2025 open already. So when I want to go to that, I simply go to change to another existing accounting year. It automatically defaults to that. But if we notice, I can go back to any one of my prior or any of my accounting periods if I wish. Okay. So we're going to choose 25 and simply click OK. And I've changed my year. Okay. Physically changed the year. All right. Now I don't need to do that when I'm, say, running a report. Okay. Or when I'm wanting to view transactions in another year. All right, I'm going to change that year to a different year when I typically need to manipulate data of some kind, okay? So some of you are going, oh, really? Is that true? So I'm going to show you. So yeah, when we go to reports and export, I'm still in 2025, but if I go to, say, financial and treasurer's report up here, notice here, all of our accounting reports have an accounting year menu, and we'd simply choose the accounting year that we're wanting. We then choose the other selections for our report, click print, and I'm printing the report for that particular year, all while remaining in my current year. Since I am working between both accounting years, when I want to go back to 2024, I simply go to Special Functions, Manage Years, Change, and then go back, and it defaults to 24, and I click OK, and I'm back in the year. Okay. All right, so special functions, manage years. I mean, again, changing the existing accounting year, it serves a specific purpose. It is for the purpose of moving back and forth between different accounting years as needed, okay? Setting up new accounting year, that function is used for when we're wanting to set up our next accounting year, all right? So when you're ready to open 2025, which hopefully many of you have already done, that was where you went to go to set up that accounting year. I've already set up my 2025. I don't need to do that. Maybe later on, if time warrants here, I will delete my 25 year and go through that and open that for you. But just be aware that if we go into our website here, I just want to show you here that if you're wanting the details of the opening of a new year, you go right here to customer support, new year prep and help. And when we scroll down, we've got membership, donations, and then accounting. Right here, the accounting new year prep steps. You've got a video document and a video here that details how to set up a new accounting year. So I'd just like to point that out. We're not going to be going into detail on that immediately. Third option down the list, view accounting year information. So when I want to view or look at simply my accounting year information, I just click on that. Again, the window serves a specific purpose. I can't really do anything here. Okay, all it does is provide some information about my accounting years. What years do I have set up? What are their start and end dates? So if, maybe I was a church who had been working on a calendar profile and then had moved to a fiscal year profile and maybe come back to it would show me all of the periods of time that I had set up for my various accounting year periods in the past, okay, and in this case in future. In addition to the years or periods of those accounting years, it also tells me whether the year was closed, So we noticed our 2013 year was closed. The other years have not been. If so, and if it was closed, who did it close? Who closed it? Also, beginning balance finalized. There's always some question about this. Well, I didn't finalize those beginning balances. That's probably true, folks. Okay. Church windows, you're only required to finalize the beginning balances in the very first year that you set up a chart of accounts. Okay. And otherwise, the software expects that the ending balances from one accounting year are going to be brought forward into the beginning balances of the next year. So don't read too much into this beginning balance finalized and beginning balances finalized by who, because it's typically one time, it's done one time until the church determines, oh, well, we want to start over with a new chart of accounts, at which point then that might update with some additional or new information on that, okay? But church windows doesn't have open balances when the chart of accounts and the beginning balances are brought forward from the prior year, because that is the assumption. I'm bringing forward my December 31st balance sheet totals to January 1 at midnight, and therefore there is no manual entry of beginning balances. It's a systematic update. And I'm going to go through that update here momentarily, okay? So I guess I'm just looking at my accounting year information here. It's that simple. Like I said, it serves a specific purpose, okay? Fourth item down our list here is updating of the beginning balances from prior accounting year ending balances. This is a very important function, okay? This is the feature that allows us to work between two accounting years as long as you need or want, okay? So let's say here I am in 2024. I've made changes to my 2024 balances. I'm going to go back up to special functions, manage years. I'm going to change my year back into 2025. Okay. Verifying up here in the upper right here. Let me get out my highlighter right here that I'm now back in the new year. Okay. And I'm going to go up to, well, let me get rid of my highlighter here, my drawing. Special functions, manage years, and I'm going to choose update beginning balances from prior accounting year ending balances. So when I do that, it pops up and says, are you sure you want to update balances for 25 from 24? And simply I'm going to click yes on that, okay? And then it does its gyrations, and then it tells me the beginning balances were updated successfully. All I'm doing here, folks, is I'm instructing the software that I want it to bring forward whatever my balance sheet totals currently are as of December 31st, or in this case, December 5th of 2024, into the starting balances of 25, okay? You can run this update of beginning balances as many times as you need or want, okay? It really becomes vitally important when we begin working in 2025, okay? Because if you're working back and forth between the old year and the new year, and you make changes, Church Windows doesn't update these balances itself. This is a user-driven function, all right? You have to update these balances, okay? It is one of the most common support calls we get in January. Oh, wow, Josh, I've gone and I'm trying to reconcile my bank statement for January, and it doesn't balance or it doesn't reconcile. And I know I reconciled for December, and 9 times out of 10, folks, they've gone back and worked between the years and have neglected to update their beginning balances. I update the beginning balances with them, boom, check the bank rec, all of a sudden they're at 0. If you're unsure, update them. The software does not manufacture balances that don't exist. If the balances are no different, then nothing changes. But it doesn't hurt to run them. It's worse if you don't do it, okay? So if you're unclear how to compare the ending of year of one balance sheet to the beginning balances of the other, just go into the new year, update the balances. It doesn't hurt to do it, okay? It just verifies that the beginning balances are what they are the same at December 31st at 11:59, and those same balances are brought forward into midnight of January 1, or whatever the start of your year is, okay? So again, this is the function that allows you to work between the 2 years, 24 and 25 in this case, as long as you need or want. And there is no restriction on how many times you can update those beginning balances. Okay? Just be sure to do it. Because if not, I'm going to be getting a call from you in January, and then I'm going to walk you through it, and then it's going to fix your bank rec or whatever problem you've had. Okay, typically. I mean, it might not fix everything, but it does fix problems. Okay. All right, so we've clicked up. So again, if I were to run the balance sheet for December 31st now of 24 and compare that to the beginning balance column on my balance sheet in 25, they're going to show the same balance. They are a second apart, and they should have the same balance. The only way they might not is if I decided to start over in 25 and enter a brand new or set up a brand new chart of accounts from scratch. All right. If I go up to special functions, manage years, and we choose now, we're down to about halfway through the list, recopy chart of accounts from prior accounting year. All right. So if I click on this, it now brings up two options for me. Recopy COA. I have two options: delete January through December 25 and recopy from 24, or I have update January through December 25 account details from 24. The reason why I can choose the first option of delete and recopy is because I have nothing entered in 2025 that affects an audit trail. I've got no transactions posted. The software goes, there's nothing I need to keep a track of for audit purposes. So I can now delete 25 entirely and recopy 24 again if that's what I'm wanting to do. But as soon as I post that first transaction in 25, that delete January through December of 25 and recopy from 24 is now grayed out, and the only option I have is to update my January or my update account details, essentially. Okay? So just be aware, it is only available until I post something in 25, which then creates an audit trail that the software goes, nope, can't do that anymore. If you're unsure about that, what do we always advise, folks? Make a backup of your data, okay? Before you open the new year or before you post transactions or something. If you're unsure about anything, make a backup. It is the only undo, okay? So folks are probably thinking, well, okay, I understand the idea that once I post transactions, I can't delete and recopy the chart of accounts entirely, but what is the updating of the account details? Well, good question. If you go back into, say, 24 and you make changes to, say, account numbers, or you change vendor information, names and addresses, or change your account numbers, okay, that updating of the account details will then copy forward into the new year, okay? You know, that ties back to the idea that account names and account numbers in church windows can be changed at any time. And that's true. You don't have to wait for a new year in order to go in and simply change, one account number to a different account number as long as the account numbers are available. You can do that anytime. And this is no different. So it's basically saying, okay, you can't delete the accounts and recopy them, but I can bring forward any updated or changed account detail information into the new year. And I'll walk through this update account details functions a lot on my support calls in January. Oh, Josh, I went back into 24 and I made changes to accounts and it's not letting me delete and recopy my chart of accounts. I say, go ahead and do the account details. See what it brings forward. It might even bring in new accounts. I think it does. If I've gone back into 24 and added new accounts, it comes into 25 and looks at that and it goes, hey, guess what? That account name and number doesn't exist. I'm going to bring it into my chart of accounts, into your chart of accounts. So it does a lot. It just may not be able to completely delete the chart of accounts and recopy it. Okay? That is a really powerful function. Okay? Right up there with, updating of your beginning balances. The software will protect you. As soon as you post that first entry in 25, this first button is unavailable, but the update account details is available anytime. Okay? All right. So let's see. Where are we now? Close accounting year. Next option, closing an accounting year. Folks, I talk about this a lot, okay? And I like to spend a little bit of time on it because it says you will not be able to add or change accounts, budgets, or transactions to the year after it is closed. This step is not required as part of ending of an accounting year. We do not recommend that you close an accounting year until after an audit of that year has been completed. Folks, the bottom line about this is there is no requirement in Church Windows whatsoever to ever close any accounting year. As we had clearly seen in our view accounting year information, right? We have not closed our accounting years other than 2013 in this case. Probably I did that for a webinar or something, okay? Well, folks are maybe thinking, well, why would I want to close an accounting year? Well, when you don't want to go back and make changes to that year and the church considers that period closed once and for all. Okay. I see it a lot when it's by folks who go, okay, we've closed the books, but then a user goes, just doesn't have the discipline to not go back into the prior year and make changes. And so somebody continues to do that and makes changes to, finalized reports or closed years or years that the church deems closed, but the software isn't actually hard closed. So I don't see this done all the time, but you just have to be aware you cannot reopen a year, okay? You call me on support, folks. I can't reopen an accounting year for you. So your best choice is before you close a year, if you decide to use this function, is to make a backup of your data. And don't be in any hurry to do it. I talk to a handful of folks every January, folks, who call me and they go, oh, Josh, I closed my year 2 weeks into January and I need to go back and make a change. And the question I have is, did you make a backup? And if the answer is yes, then you can go back and restore that. You're going to have to re-enter all the work you did after closing the year. But it's better than, than the alternative. So again, make a backup. Backups are your best friend, even in the cloud. Church Windows Web, okay? So again, I cannot, and none of my techs can reopen a closed year for you. There's a reason why that's there, and you can close a year at any time. If you want to close it in June of 25, you can. If you want to close 24 in June of 26, you can. The software does not care. Okay? It's literally as simple as choosing the year you want to close. Sorry, 2014, clicking OK. And it says, are you sure you will not be able to do it? And I have to check this box. I have read and understand, and then click yes. And then that closes the year. Okay. Now when I go up to 24 and view accounting year information, 13 and 14 are closed. Okay. We're running short on time here, folks. I want to get moving through these because there's a couple of other things we really must discuss here. If you're on a current calendar year and you want to switch to a non-calendar or fiscal year, you can use the convert to non-calendar accounting year. So if I do that now, it's going to say, hey, okay, we'll now switch to the most recent accounting year. So it's going to go into 24. A backup should be made. Here's our backup prompt. So it says, while this screen is open, I've got exclusive access. Okay, great. Nobody can get into accounting while I'm doing that. So here it's saying 24. These are the years. This is the year that I've got transactions entered, and I can do this for you in 24, but it's always going to run a shortened year. So if you're not prepared to create that fiscal profile until 25, then you should wait until you get into 25 post-transactions. Then it will allow you to set up a shortened or fiscal year in 25, okay? But again, you don't need our help and support to do this, folks. You can literally go right into special functions, manage years, convert to a non-calendar accounting year and do it yourself. It's going to never run anything, no accounting years are going to be anything ever longer than 12 months. So the switchover is going to be a shortened period before it goes back to your 12-month fiscal year. So if my year starts in, say, June of 2025, my year will run from January through May of 25. Then I'll start my fiscal profile of June through May of 26. Okay. Again, backup should be made before doing that. But it can be done. And if you need our assistance with that and would like, folks, I tell people on my support calls all the time. Half of what I do as a support technician is hand holding. And if you need my help and need me to hold your hand while you're doing this function on a support call, I am completely happy to do that, and any of my technicians will. Okay? So don't hesitate to call us, but if you don't need me, you can absolutely do this yourself. Okay? Delete unused accounts. Really important, folks. This is the en masse location for deleting or cleaning up your chart of accounts. Cleaning up the chart of accounts annually, to me, is one of the most overlooked or frequently underutilized features in the software. So basically, if I'm in 24 even now, right, here are the list of accounts that even in 2024, it allows me to delete even now. Literally, you can go down the list and just put a check mark in the delete box. There's no audit history in these accounts for 24 or 25 that I need to worry about. Okay? But if I did do this, I would need to recopy my chart of accounts in 24 or from 24 into 25 or update my accounting details, my account details. Okay? Or I'm going to go into 25 and do this. All right? So, but do this, folks, because folks are thinking, there's a lot of users who think that the chart of accounts is a global setting. When I run that end of year procedure, okay, it brings over a chart of accounts from 24, say, into 25, an exact duplicate. But as far as the software is concerned, they are completely separate charts of accounts. So deleting accounts in 2025, those same accounts still exist in 24 and earlier. It does not affect earlier years. But yeah, get rid of accounts you don't need, and the thing about the delete unused accounts, and I'm going to show you this here, is delete unused accounts. No, that's not what I wanted. Sorry, folks, clicked on the wrong thing. Special functions, manage years, and delete unused accounts. Last used, this column right here in the middle, right here, last used, tells us that the last date that the software now sees that the account was used. All right? So, 1900, the software doesn't even remember the last time they were. And in this case, they're all here because, there's some right here. So 2013. So that's been over 10 years that I haven't used those accounts. Vendors, notably, clean them up. If you delete an account you shouldn't have, just re-add it back to the chart of accounts. Okay? But use this function. Again, if in doubt, make a backup of your data before you do the delete unused accounts function. Even tells you the type of an account. Asset, income, expense, liability, doesn't matter. AP vendor. Okay? It'll tell you, and it will help, and your chart of accounts will be the better for it. Okay? Finally, delete accounting years. First, it shows select accounting year to be deleted, but I like to point out the little question mark there, that when you click on that, it brings up a help page that basically provides some information about deleting accounting years. Future accounting years that do not have transactions can be deleted. Hey, 25. Future accounting years cannot be deleted if they have transactions. Future accounting years cannot be deleted unless the years following that year are also deleted. Okay? Also, accounting years more than eight or more years old may be deleted. Past accounting years cannot be deleted unless the prior year to that is also deleted. So it kind of provides some pretty useful and helpful information about that. So if we click the down arrow, notice we can choose 25. Got no transactions in that year. So I could delete 25 and wait and start again, or do whatever I need to do. Or go back and delete 2013 through 2016, because anything after that is 8 years or sooner. Okay? So sure, here's as I was saying before, if I choose 25, I can add other years to the list as well. Don't have to do them. Oh, it won't let me do it. I can't. I thought I could. Delete years. Okay, it says, are you back? Maybe want to make a backup. Are you sure you want to delete the year? Yes. 25 is now gone. Okay, now I want to go up to Special Functions, Manage Years, and View Accounting Year Information. 2025 is no longer there. Okay? Backups, folks. I keep going back to it again and again and again. Backups are your only undo and best friend. Okay? So let's go through this. If I want to reopen 25, I'm going to go to Special Functions, Manage Years, Set Up New Accounting Year. Ask me, are you sure you want to set up the accounting year? Yes. It automatically says, do you want to create a next year for 25? I could go back to 20 and create one for 2012 too. Copy it backwards. And do I want to copy my chart of accounts from 24 into 25 and the budget amounts? Folks, I always advise copying the budget amounts. Here's why, if my chart of accounts is being copied. Because if some of my budgets change for 25 and some don't, I save myself work. Okay? And not only that, all of the accounts that were budgeted in 24 will be selected, and I won't have to reselect those accounts. So it might typically be just smart to copy the budget from the prior year. Okay? If things are bad and I want to create a line in time and establish a new chart of accounts for 25 and moving forward, I can choose create an empty chart of accounts with account numbers or without and change my account definition. But I have to, if I do that, I'm going to be starting my chart of accounts and entering that from scratch all over again. Yes, beginning balances will be open, but honestly, folks, it's got to be pretty dire for me to want to create an empty chart of accounts. So we're going to copy our current chart of accounts and our budgets, and we're going to click OK. And it now creates my next accounting year. And now all I'm left to do is, when I need to, periodically update my 2025 beginning balances to bring forward whatever my new balance sheet totals are from the end of the prior year. Okay, well, and other maintenance, changing account names and numbers and entering budget amounts and what have you. Okay.